Hello and welcome to Nothing But the Truth. Over the last 3 or 4 weeks, has the Modi government lost the plot and lost direction, or is that an unfair press perception? That's the key issue I shall explore today with one of the most senior ministers of the government, the Minister for Communication and Information Technology, Ravi Shankar Prasad. Mr. Prasad, let's start with the issues that have disrupted Parliament and attracted adverse comment in the media. And to begin with, conversions. Given that we have proof that the 57 Muslim families who were converted by the Bajrang Dal and the Dharam Jagran Manch in Agra on the Tuesday, 9th of December, were lured by misleading promises of BPL, ration and Aadhaar cards. Why has no member of your government thought it fit to condemn or at least criticize this very disturbing development?
First of all, the government of Shri Modi has neither lost the plot nor the people's goodwill.
It looks like that to everyone.
I'm sorry, that is your perception. And I don't think you're an opposition leader, are you? And it is stressing on good governance and sabka saath, sabka vikas. And the people of India are trusting, reflected by repeated our victory in elections, and again going to be.
But suddenly good governance is overwhelmed and overtaken by their silence on issues like conversion or later on treatment of Christians. That's why I bring this up.
Not the least. We are in power in Goa. We have got good presence in Northeast, including Nagaland. Don't make those comments.
What about my question? Why are you not criticizing or condemning conversion by allurement of innocent Muslim families by people who are your allies and supporters, the Bajrang Dal and the Dharam Jagran Manch?
Any conversion by allurement we never support. Some issues have come. There are one view, the other view.
But you haven't criticized this.
I'm sorry to say that. The state government can take action if they so wish.
Not
Why
the
not?
national government.
No. I'm telling you because it's making a specific mention of the state of Uttar Pradesh. But in a larger issue, Lok Sabha is doing quite well. They are delaying Raj Sabha day after day. We want to have a debate. Twice we said start just now. Why they are shying away from
Because
debate?
they want the Prime Minister to reply. They believe that on an issue as critical as conversions, which disturbs India's Muslims and Christians, this is a matter that he must handle. A, because he's allocated to himself all important policy issues, and B, because as Prime Minister, he's the moral leader. His voice is the voice that counts.
The Home Minister was willing to have a debate. The Lok Sabha had a good debate, the Home Minister replied to. We are willing to have a debate, and I know the sheer politicking of Congress and others will be exposed in the debate. Therefore, they are running away from the debate. Now, will you dictate who will reply?
I'm not dictating who will reply. I'm saying to you something else. You're willing to have a debate,
yes,
but I've heard no condemnation, no criticism of these
I fail to understand.
Conversions.
The debate is just to start. The minister's reply is just to be. No, I'm sorry, because the point is, they want to have a debate. We are willing to have a debate. We are going to clarify everything. I don't think I need to convince Karan Thapar.
Let's move away from this question of a debate. Let me ask you a simple question. As an interviewer to a senior government minister, does Ravi Shankar Prasad criticize or condemn forced conversion by allurement as happened in Agra by your own allies?
First of all, you must understand, when we say we are against allurement or other things, it is wrong. A. And B, anyone can convert by free goodwill voluntarily.
So, do you criticize what happened in Agra on Tuesday the 9th?
I'm not supposed to reply in the manner you'd like to have me to reply.
You're not replying to it at all.
I'm sorry, that may be your perception, but it's not my perception. I'm very clear. But we are equally against this rabid politics behind conversions for vote bank politics.
You know, the rabid politics behind conversions is coming at the moment from your side. It's coming from your side.
As far as we are concerned, we are for good governance, for development. That is our focus. That will remain our focus. And when Modi ji says sabka saath, sabka vikas, it includes Hindus, Muslims, tribals, Christians, everyone.
I'll tell you why I bring up the issue of conversions. It's not just what happened in Agra on Tuesday the 9th that is deeply worrying, on which your government is sadly silent. It's also that these same people, the Dharam Jagran Manch and the Bajrang Dal, who are your supporters and allies, have now, although they've postponed the date, still committed themselves repeatedly to converting 4,000 Christian families and 1,000 Muslim families in Aligarh. Now, if that were to happen, it would be incendiary. Yet again, you're silent.
After all, they stopped it or not, even that creates a problem for you.
They've only postponed it.
I'm sorry.
They've only postponed it.
Karan Thapar, don't come with
We have deferred our program, says Raveshwar Singh, not cancelled it.
Karan Thapar, I'm sorry, you only come with an agenda.
It's not an agenda, these are questions. These are questions.
Questions you're asking, I'm replying to you. When we say our focus is development, They have postponed it also. That
Postponed
means,
it, you
all
see, you
right,
agree?
they have postponed or stopped it. They are not doing it, yet you have a problem. If they will do, you have a problem. If they don't do, that is a problem.
No. I'll tell you
That
what
is
my,
typical Karan Thapar style.
I'll tell you what my problem is. I want the government of my country, which has the moral leadership of this country, to stand up and say, we are against this happening at any time. Not just postponed. It will not happen. We will not permit it. We do not want
First
it.
of all,
These sort of forced conversions are wrong. Say that categorically.
It is in the state of Uttar Pradesh. It is a state subject.
Which is part of India and your government of India.
As far as the government stand is concerned, Karan Thapar, when we say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, it is for the entire country with good governance, development and making India an effective country.
I want to actually talk about good governance and development. The reason I'm coming to conversion is because conversion and your treatment of Christians, which I'll come to in a moment's time, has suddenly overshadowed your agenda. It's made people worry.
It is not. Karan Thapar is trying to overshadow it. I'm sorry to interrupt you here. The people trust. Even in Kashmir, in a Muslim valley in Srinagar, Mr. Narendra Modi is having the biggest rally where they are having good slogans in favor of Mr. Modi. Mr. Karan Thapar does not see that. Even in Northeast, when Prime Minister, please listen to me. Even in Northeast, when Prime Minister goes to Nagaland and other places, there is so much of affection and love for him. You don't see that. Because, I'm sorry to say, at times you also suffer from blinkered eye against my government, against the party.
Let me come back to the key issue that I want to
You
raise.
will keep on coming, I know that, because that is the only issue for you. But I will not play balls with you, I'm sorry to say that. Because now I see an agenda by Karan Thapar for this interview.
There's no agenda.
It is. I'm sorry.
All I want...
And I wish it goes on record.
It is going on record.
Yes.
Please don't worry. Every word you say will be on record. All I want is to seek from you assurance for India's unsettled minorities, its Muslims, its Christians and others, who look and hear people like Rajeshwar Singh, the convener of the Dharm Jagran.
Let me interrupt you here. When my Prime Minister tells to an international well-known journal as to what is the meaning and respect this government has for Muslims, that does not create any impact for you. And some stray comments, okay, which we may not appreciate, is becoming the dominant theme of your discourse.
It's not becoming the dominant theme.
It is. No. Therefore, again, I will repeat, I see an agenda in the interview of Mr. Karan Thapar.
Let me end by putting this to you. I want to quote what Rajeshwar Singh. He's not just the convener
I don't take cognizance of Rajeshwar Singh. You are talking to Ravi Shankar Prasad, a senior minister, articulating the views of the government. If that doesn't convince you, I'm sorry. I cannot make any further effort.
Can I just quote what he said so that you can tell me you disagree with it? Let me just quote it, then you disagree with it. He says, on all national channels on the 17th of December, Muslims and Christians have no right to live in India.
Let me say we don't appreciate it, okay? If that satisfies you, but I know it will not satisfy you.
It does.
Because you have an agenda.
No, I don't.
I have, you have.
No.
I'm sorry. The way you
I'm very happy to hear Ravi Shankar Prasad, the first minister in this government, say this.
And I'm equally unhappy the way you are grilling me in spite of our powerful performance under Shri Modi on one agenda.
Let me then come to a second issue that's disrupted Parliament and attracted adverse comment in the media, and that is your government's decision to designate Christmas Day, the holiest day in the calendar for Christians, as Good Governance Day.
Again agenda.
I put it to you that this is seen as an affront to Christians.
Come on, Karan, what has happened to you today? I'm sorry to say that. I'm amazed with your mindset. Clarified in the parliament. What is this? It is only Navodaya Vidyalaya, where it is a boarding school.
I'm not talking about schools.
I'm telling you.
I'm not talking about schools closing down.
It has not been designated at all. Please listen to me.
Just a moment. It's been designated as Good Governance Day because the Prime Minister said so. He said so on the 1st or 2nd of December.
On December 20th, Atal Bihari Vajpayee is born. He did not select his day of birth, did he? He is our tallest leader.
It's also the day Jesus is born.
I know that.
The most holy day for Christians.
Vidhu, can you allow me to speak? Has the government stopped any Christian from celebrating Christmas? No. We are only saying Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was known for good governance as the former Prime Minister, is still rated very high. That day we will celebrate Good Governance Day.
And
that's
as a result, you are diminishing Christmas,
not
the holiest day for Christians, and you are therefore giving an affront to Christians and Christianity.
Not the least, our respect for Christianity is too well known. We are only respecting the birthday of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which Christians also respect too much.
Can I ask you this? Why didn't you choose Diwali or Holi for Good Governance Day? Atal Bihari Vajpayee was a Hindu. He would have appreciated that connection.
That is again a hypothetical question. If Mr. Vajpayee would have been born on Diwali day, perhaps it would have been relevant. What are you asking, Karan? Should I come again that today the entire interview is agenda driven?
Not an agenda.
And you are seeking to even defile the image of Mr. Atal Bihari
Not
Vajpayee.
at all. In fact,
that's what you are doing.
No,
I'm sorry
no,
to say
no,
that.
In fact,
sorry.
I'm saying something else.
I take strong offense to the way you have sought to demean Mr. Vajpayee.
I'm not demeaning him.
That is unacceptable.
I'm not demeaning
I'm sorry.
him. He's a man I hold in great regard. It's
But
actually that's the reason I'm asking the
your
question.
question doesn't show that.
I don't think Mr.
Sorry.
Vajpayee would appreciate what
Karan,
you've done.
I'm
He would feel embarrassed because you're
Karan,
suggesting to some people he's part of a design to denigrate Christianity. That's why he'll be embarrassed. He'll be upset with you.
Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birthday was celebrated even when he was the Prime Minister. I was the Minister.
But not as Good Governance Day.
Please listen to me. It was properly celebrated. Today he is unwell, he is ill. And after 2004, for the first time a government has come for which he had his blessings. The last 10 years, they never celebrated.
Would he appreciate
It was only a
Christmas
Gandhi
Day?
family.
Would he appreciate
I'm sorry
Christmas
to
Day
say
being
that
expropriated in this way?
When we say good governance, we say the growth of all. And it includes Hindus, Christians, Muslims. Okay?
You have no regret about this?
Not the least. I'm telling you, it is in memory of Shri Vajpayee. And I know Christians will be happy too. Karan Thapar will not be happy.
Actually, they're not.
Again, Karan Thapar has an agenda.
Actually, they're not. They've gone on record to say they're not.
I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I don't appreciate your stand. The country appreciates. The Hindus, Muslims, Christians appreciate. All of have great regard for Atal Bihari Vajpayee. May not be Karan Thapar. That's your problem.
Let me then come to a third issue that's disrupted Parliament and has attracted huge adverse attention in the media. The Hindutva-style comments made by repeated ministers, not just the Sadhvi, who said that those who are not Ramzadu are Haramzadu. After that, Sushma Swaraj, the Minister of External Affairs, said that the Gita should be deemed the national book of the country. Before that, Kalraj Mishra said Hindutva is the national identity of India. And I put it to you that people say
Again, then I have not the slightest doubt that today's interview is agenda-driven. Okay? But let me take it. The Sadhvi apologized. What she made the statement outside.
Sushma ji hasn't apologized.
Please listen to me. Please listen to me. The Prime Minister openly repudiated her comment. Yet the House was not allowed to function. Please listen to me again. The Congress party has an agenda. They sought to disrupt, okay, because they have lost very badly. Gita is a great granth of India. She just must have wished in a Gita function. We all swear by Gita when we go to the court.
She wanted it made the national book of the country.
And surely there is a view, nothing wrong with it.
This is a secular country.
All right.
She's taken an oath to protect secularism.
I'm sorry. Giving respect, exalted status to Gita with its universal philosophy does not at all go against the spirit of constitution. By that logic,
goes against Mr. Modi's comments itself. Can I finish?
Mr. Karan Thapar, by that logic, UN declaring yoga as an international day of celebration will also
the two don't equate, and you
what
know that.
Do you mean?
The two don't
Yoga
equate.
is spirit.
Can I come back to Sushma Swaraj? When Sushma Swaraj said that in fact the Gita should be recognized as the national book of the country, she was in fact refuting what Mr. Modi said on the 6th of May to the Times of India, when very categorically he pointed out that the only holy book this country has is the Constitution. Now, Sushma Swaraj, his minister, has not only refuted him, she's contradicted him. Why did he not rebuke her?
This is fine nitpicking by the great imaginator, Mr. Karan Thapar. Constitution is certainly, if I can put it that way, is the topmost document of the country, by which we all govern.
And not the Gita.
I'm sorry to say that. When we talk of Gita, we talk as a great civilizational heritage, cultural heritage, being respected world over. From Max Miller to Gandhi to Vinoba Bhai.
Under your commitment to secularism, the Gita, the Quran, the Bible are all the same. And the Guru Granth Sahib and the Jain text. You can't make one above the other.
All. Again, I charge, it is a driven agenda of Karan Thapar to trying to corner us, which we don't want to be cornered.
I tell you, it's not a driven agenda. It's this that
it is.
You know,
I want my viewers to know that Karan Thapar today has come with an agenda, a diabolical agenda to derail BJP, which you are not doing.
You're repeatedly sending that message to people. You're not even letting me finish a question.
Today I'll have to tell you again, Mr. Karan Thapar, I know your hatred against Modi.
I have no hatred against Mr. Modi.
You entertain pathological hatred against Modi.
I have no hatred against Modi.
You are rabid anti-BJP.
I am not anti-BJP.
You are not happy with our government. And today, your entire interview indicates that. I charge you, your hatred against BJP is driving this agenda of interview.
I hope your
I say with
viewers,
full sense of
I hope your
responsibility.
supporters, I hope your party are reassured by the allegations you've leveled at me. You have a right to do so.
I do
freely
so
grant that.
with full sense
But
of responsibility.
may I now
Your questions indicate that.
But may I now finish the question?
Yes, you go ahead.
Thank you very much. Mr. Modi got a lot of praise justifiably when on Independence Day he spoke in favor of togetherness, brotherliness. People said it was...
what this government is about.
Can I finish the
But
question?
you're not even asking about
Can
that.
I finish the question? And a lot of people said it was the right note and the right sentiment to stress. Now, when his own ministers knowingly and repeatedly unsettle India's minorities by trying to make the Gita the national book or try and suggest that Hindutva is the identity of the country, and Modi Sahib is silent, people say, did he not mean what he said on Independence Day? It's a question mark about his commitment and integrity.
Yes, now let me reply. The people of the India do not doubt. The people of the India have great respect for Gita. People of India know the very inclusive, assimilative approach of Narendra Modi, which all of us are wedded to. I can't convince Karan Thapar. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Your government has got a lot of praise, a lot of credit for stressing good governance, for stressing development. People said...
I'm happy. At least now you're talking about it.
Surprising. Let me finish the question.
I know it will come with a caveat.
And people said this is what the country needs. Unfortunately, the issues that I've raised, the controversies they've created, the disruption of parliament and the adverse criticism in the media has drowned this out. Instead, people are now worried that an older BJP, a Hindu revival party, a party that questions India's commitment to secularism, is suddenly reasserting itself. How can you reassure me that's not the case? Because that's the real cause of concern that lies behind my questions.
The people of the country are assured. I don't know whether I will succeed in convincing Mr. Karan Thapar, who has always a problem with my party and the leader. That's the problem. My point is, when the people of the country have voted so convincingly in our favor, they know our record of governance, whether Mr. Bajpayee government or so many state governments where our chief ministers are doing so well, or Mr. Modi's record in Gujarat and now beginning in India. I only want you to trust. Opposition party have lost very badly. I know they will agitate.
You're saying trust us.
I don't want your trust.
You're asking the people to trust you.
Yeah, they are trusting us. I'm sorry. I know my party will never get the trust of Karan Thapar. I'm sure about it. And I have no problem with that. I grant you your right to hate my party, to hate my leader. That's your right. I respect that. But I will not be game for that. I'm sure the people will love us.
It's not just Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad that the image of this government has suddenly got drowned out by different worrying voices, but also your legislation as a result is stalled. The insurance bill and the coal bill now look as if they won't clear Parliament in this session. Suddenly, measures that you believe are critical for the economy are being stalled. And I put it to you that these controversies are not just affecting your image, they're affecting the governance of the country, the health of the economy. That's why we're concerned about this situation.
Now let me ask a counter question. I'm happy you have raised that. Have you raised a word about even veiled criticism of the role of Congress party, of other opposition
When
parties?
I talk to them, I do it repeatedly. At the moment I'm talking to a government minister.
I'm sorry. Not even a veiled disapproval. They have been in power for so long. We are ready for a debate. They are running away from a debate. They are dictating terms. The Prime Minister came and condemned. The chairman read a resolution of disapproval. They are not happy. Everything should be done either my way or highway, or house will remain stalled. Okay? I am equally concerned about legislation. We shall do it.
All right.
But their real face also needs to be conveyed to the people as to how those have been rejected by the people today are trying to stall the parliament. Only one house where they are in good number, not Lok Sabha.
Let's then take a break at that point and let's come back and talk about another issue of concern, not just to the opposition, but sometimes to the media as well, the Prime Minister's attitude to the Rajya Sabha. Is there grounds there for concern, or once again, are those impressions mistaken? We'll be back in a moment's time. Don't go away. Welcome back to Nothing But the Truth, and an exclusive interview with one of the government's most senior ministers, the Minister for Communication and Information Technology, who mercifully is laughing just now, but he wasn't laughing when we ended part one. Let's hope we keep that smile on his face and don't back to the anger that we saw earlier. Mr. Prasad, I want to talk to you now about the Prime Minister's attitude to the Rajya Sabha, which has got a lot of adverse comment from the opposition and also at times from the media. This session is nearly 4 weeks old. The Prime Minister has appeared in the Rajya Sabha just 3 times. The last session was 5 weeks old. He appeared barely 3 or 4 times. And people say, has he got a problem with the Rajya Sabha? Is this deliberate denigration of the upper house?
First of all, I keep on laughing. But if you ask me questions, I have also equally got the right to reply and reply effectively. And also tell your viewers as to what is the perception of my great friend Karan Thapar about my party, which hasn't changed, even in spite of massive victory.
Come back to my question. Is the Prime Minister deliberately denigrating the Rajya Sabha?
Absolutely wrong. He always goes that. He delivered a wonderful speech in the first session. Today, in this session, he has been speaking about on the whole issue. He's talking to the entire country. But the problem is, again, a sense of discomfort. He's always there available on his questions day, which they are not at all.
Can I put this to you? On the day he first entered Parliament as an MP, he knelt down, kissed the floor and called it a temple of democracy, and he got a lot of praise for it.
I'm so thrilled.
Now,
I'm so thrilled.
Now,
Karan Thapar for the first time appreciating something of Narendra Modi.
Now, when he refuses to cooperate with demands made by the Rajya Sabha, people say, was that earlier act of reverence hypocritical, or does he have some sort of particular problem with the upper house? Because no Prime Minister repeatedly resists the demands of Rajya Sabha MPs to come and speak, as Mr. Modi seems to do.
I'm sorry to say that. This absolutely allegations are completely baseless, irresponsible also to say the least. The Prime Minister is always the Prime Minister. He's the Prime Minister of the country. He's most accessible. When they asked him to come, mind you, till date, Rajya Sabha has never taken cognizance of something spoken outside. Many Congress leaders and others have spoken outside. But he went out of the way. In spite of the apology of that minister, he personally came, disapproved it. Even then they did it. And yet Karan Thapar has a problem. I don't know.
You know, the opposition actually make a bigger point. They say even when he's in the Lok Sabha, which they say is the house he prefers, he actually sits silent. He says, and this is the point they make, our Prime Minister, they say, has made more speeches in foreign parliaments than in his own. How do you
I'm sorry to say that the Prime Minister is quite eloquent. He's very much communicative.
Oh, he's very eloquent. Outside, inside, he's quiet.
He's very communicative. If he is not communicating with Karan Thapar, I think that is the problem.
No, it's not Karan Thapar I'm talking about. It's the Parliament of India and the upper house.
I'm sorry. My Prime Minister has got the highest respect for the Parliament, both the Lok Sabha and the
You know the paradox, and it's almost a joke. When the Prime Minister was Chief Minister of Gujarat and campaigning for the elections, he used to taunt then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh by calling him Mon Mohan Singh. Now people turn around and say, Narendra Modi, Mon ban gaya.
He never said that. The PM's voice is heard all over the country. Manmohan Singh never spoke. The PM is equally available on all the forum, including the Parliament. I only think the PM will get a proper certificate from Karan Thapar only when he starts talking to
you know the other paradox?
Which will not come.
How is it that a Prime Minister who has so much to say outside Parliament has so little to say inside it? Right. People don't understand this.
No, I fail to understand. The ministers are talking, the government is talking, policy initiative is there, questions are being answered, every day we are available, he comes on crucial days. Therefore, you want only to the Prime Minister sit and reply to everything. I don't think that's how the parliament democracy functions. Come on, come with some serious questions.
Let me put this
come with some serious
I'm
questions
coming
today.
To the very serious question.
Today.
You see,
none of the questions I have found to be very serious today.
You don't like them because you believe they point out embarrassments about your allies.
I'm least embarrassed, and that too from Karan Thapar.
That's why you don't like them.
Thapar. Our government is strong, popular, doing quite well.
The great danger today in the eyes of, maybe it's a minority only, I concede that, but the great danger is that your government has been deflected from its course of governance and development to suddenly having, with its back against the wall, to defend itself against what its allies are doing. You're not doing it, I admit it, but your allies and some of your foolish MPs and some of your errant ministers. And I say to you, Mr. Modi needs to correct this, otherwise he'll be deflected of course. He needs to stand up and say some ministers should shut up. He needs to stand up and say some MPs should never speak. He should stand up and say the Dharm Jagran Manch and the Bajrang Dal should keep permanent silence. He may say that behind closed doors. Sources leak it. Why not in public to us?
Well, first of all, the Prime Minister is a popular leader. It is a good governance going on. Whatever remedial measures needs to be taken will be taken. The people are very happy. I cannot convince Mr. Karan Thapar because I know Mr. Karan Thapar will never be convinced. If Mr. Modi's government does not have a problem, everything is going very well, still Mr. Karan Thapar will have a problem. And I grant that right to Karan Thapar not to be convinced about Mr. Modi.
I'm grateful for that, even despite the allegations earlier. But let me put this to you, and it's virtually my last question.
Yes.
good governance, development is critical. Mr. Modi realizes that. Why is he hesitant to publicly tick off silly ministers who make mistakes, silly MPs who make mistakes, silly allies who say silly things? Because that will help his government's image, it will help his image. His silence raises only question marks.
First of all, that is again your perception.
Of course, I'm asking you questions.
Surely, I don't deny that, but I don't agree with that perception. Whatever remedial measures it needs to be taken, will be taken, has been taken. Good governance, development of all Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians and every segment of society will remain our core priority.
Okay.
Allow us to work. We will work. I know Karan Thapar will keep on asking my questions to me. I'll keep on replying. My parting shot to you is, at least find some good point with Mr. Modi. I haven't seen you have found any till now.
Mr. Modi has chosen an excellent minister who is perhaps the only minister in this government at this moment willing to answer the questions I ask. And for that, Ravi Shankar Prasad, I applaud you and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.